Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, January 11th. We opened the meeting at 7:04, and I'm going to do just a roll call vote for attendance. So board members.
Art Motley is here.
Okay.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
And Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay, first item on the agenda will be discussion, approval of the meeting minutes. Art, do you want to start us off on those?
If you want. Yeah, I reformatted August 24th and September 14th. I don't know if anybody's got a problem with it, but I put them in the order where we actually took up the business. They were all jumbled up and made some other corrections. And I sent them back to Steve for distribution and pending approval. So those two looked okay to me, but it's up to the other folks now.
Okay, anyone else have any comments or revisions?
No comment.
Eric?
No comment.
Okay, Katie, Grace?
No comment, thank you.
Okay. Do you want to take one at a time, or do you want to just list all the dates as
Well,
the revised ones?
Yeah, I think we should do one at a time.
Okay, all right.
So I'll move that we accept the minutes from the August 24th, 2020 meeting as amended.
Motion's been made, seconded by Mike. Roll call vote.
Art Motley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I'll make a motion that we accept the September 14th, 2020 meeting minutes as amended.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Motion's been made, seconded by Mike. Roll call vote.
Art Motley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay.
Uh,
Next. Yes.
On 10/5, I want to ask whatever happened with the laptop that's mentioned in there.
Yeah.
Any resolution on that?
Yeah, so we have, the IT guys, I sent it to the IT guys. There's some new IT guys that started at the town, and they were able to clear the issues that I had. So, my, out of memory doesn't happen anymore. So I haven't had any issues since, so it's working fine right now.
Oh, great.
So
Okay.
you're not getting a new laptop?
I can certainly get one if you want me to, but right now this seems to be working fine.
Okay. No, I was just curious because I thought you were getting a
I
replacement.
did too. I really needed one, but they were able to fix it and then upgrade. The only thing I have to do, I'm going to drop it off this week. They have to, because I don't have admin privileges. I'm asking for, they have to upgrade the Word, Microsoft Word. And I've asked for Adobe Pro. They send an email out to everybody. So if I get Adobe Pro, we'll be able to help with all these e-signatures.
I want to also mention, I know the reason that we put 7 p.m. on all the agenda items. But when we do the minutes, I think we should actually put the time that the individual items come up. I know they're putting a timestamp, but I'm not sure that, this is a public record. I'm not sure everybody understands what that is. But everybody's going to know what the board took this up at 7:23. You know what I mean? So I know at some point in the future, we're going to have a new minute taker. So I would propose that we ask whoever that person is to actually put not just the timestamp, but the actual, or convert it to the actual time that we take up the item.
Yeah, I think when they go back, so all the meetings will be available on video, so they could just fast forward to that time.
Right.
I think
Right.
that would be best.
Okay.
I don't know, anybody else on the board have any opinions? No? Okay.
I agree with Art.
Oh, Mark, you
Hi there.
joined us.
I
Did
made
you
it.
just on? What time did you get on at?
About 7:07.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we're on,
If there's nothing else on October 5th, I'd make a motion to approve October 5th. The
okay,
minute-
motion made,
Second,
second by Mark, roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
Okay, thank you.
And on October 19th, I didn't have any issues. I don't know if anybody else did.
Okay, board, anyone else?
No issues.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes for October 19th as submitted.
Motion is made, seconded by
Second, Mike.
Mike. Roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
Okay, and November 2nd.
I didn't touch that one because I was absent, so I don't know what was said.
Okay. Board, did anyone else take a look at that one?
No,
Okay. Do we want to,
I'm writing him a note to look at them. I'll look at them because I believe I was there, and I'll
Yeah.
review them prior to the next meeting.
okay, all right, so that'll be the 25th? 25th of January. We'll table that, Steve.
Yeah.
You can add that to the agenda.
And we also had, the 7th came in after the revised agenda, so, but everyone might have gotten a copy of the 7th too.
Yeah, I didn't get to review those yet.
Okay,
Could you add that to the drive for under meeting minutes also?
yep. I think it might be,
Oh, it's just out of order. Okay, got it.
is it there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so those two, I like it that you're putting them on in the beginning of the meeting, so we can clean that up.
Fresh minds.
Fresh minds, yes, as fresh as we can be on a Monday night. Okay, all right, moving right along to tree clearing, Wallem Lake Solar update. Steve?
I got an email that there was some, I guess, conversations about the tree clearing and about how about the selective cutting and the process and what they marked. So they've tabled that. They didn't clear any of those trees that they came into the commission with. And
I'm happy, sorry to cut you off, Steve. It's Lawrence from AMP. I'm happy to add some color to that if you want. If you
Oh,
find
okay,
it
great.
useful.
Yeah, so I got an email today from the engineer saying that they're going to postpone.
Yeah.
it, But go ahead, Lawrence.
So obviously we were applied to do the clearing on the basis of what we thought would be the impact and shading. It looked pretty severe once all the trees were marked. You asked us if that was actually the case and could we sort of have another look at it. So rather than sort of pursue it at the moment, we're going to get the farm built, then actually have a look at the impacts of shading. And then perhaps we can be a lot more selective with the trees that we're cutting rather than just doing everything or limited things within the buffer. And so once the farm is complete, we'll table that in the spring and have a look at a little bit more selective.
Okay, for the record, could you just state your name and address, please?
Yeah, my name is Lawrence Cook. I work for AMP Solar. Do you want my personal home address or do you want my business address?
Business is good, thank you.
It's 1550 Weewatter Drive, 4th floor in Denver, Colorado.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's-
Board, do you have any
that's-
questions?
Yeah, that sounds a lot better to me than
Yeah.
where we were last time we talked about the project.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll have you guys out there when we're done with the site, and we can walk it through and actually look at the actual impacts rather than proposed.
Okay,
And
Board-
while we're here, Lawrence is here for item 7 also. On discussion.
under,
I'm
Seven?
happy for you. Yeah, I'm happy for you to go through your normal agenda and just sit and listen in though. So
is it 7 for 37 Glen Street?
7 for 117 Shore Road. Should be a revised agenda.
Agenda?
Yeah, it's on the review. Well, the agenda got revised. Oh, maybe I didn't send out the revised one, but it got updated with the town clerk. So we added 117 Shore Road driveway repair.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't have that.
yeah, we don't have that agenda.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Got updated Thursday.
Wait a little bit. I'd prefer if we can just continue on. The first few things here are gonna be quick, so we'll get you moving as quickly as possible. Okay, Steve,
Yep, that's fine.
did you just add one thing?
That was it.
Okay. So is there 11 items under old business now?
That was under discussion. It was,
Um,
117 Shore Road. So
Oh, okay, all right, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. So that was the only change?
that's it.
All right, yeah, let's just keep it moving now. Cause I might need to hand that over anyway.
All right.
So extension 130 Southeast Main Street. Do you want to just give an overview? They're requesting extension. Did they request a specific time of
Yes.
years?
Yeah, they asked for 3 years. They're actually in the process of doing the work. It was the extension actually elapsed last April, but under the order from the governor, and DEP confirmed it with an email that they actually have, the order is still relevant right now.
Mhm.
So they can do the work, but we were suggested just to be prudent, if the governor ended the order next month, they would have only like 30 days to finish the project. So they're requesting an extension for another 3 years just to cover themselves while they do the work on the house. So
Yeah. I think that's reasonable. Board, any comments on the 3 years on the request? Anything? I can entertain a motion to extend this order for 3 years.
I'll
yeah,
move.
and I'm surprised. Let me see. Margaret was supposed to be here tonight. They had a question. Let's see if I have it on the. Let me bring the plan up.
Do we want to address the extension first, then the
Okay.
question?
Yeah.
I heard somebody speaking. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
can't.
I moved that I made a motion that we grant the 3-year extension for
Okay.
130 Southeast Main Street.
Motion's been made.
Second,
Second by Mike. Roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Manjam, aye.
Okay, thank you very much. And then Steve, your question?
Yeah, so they, with this order, let's see if I can screen share. All right, is my plan, is the plan showing on the screen?
Yes.
So there's actually 2 properties here. You can see this line here. So, oops, sorry, there's a line right here. So there's a property to the right, there's a shared driveway that comes up. And then this to the right is the one where you just granted the extension. And this house here, when they did the permit, and Margaret's not here to explain it, but basically they just did I don't know if you can see it right now. They just did a box. They weren't sure what type of house they were going to build. So I think everything else is pretty much staying the same, but instead they want to here's the 50-foot buffer. They want to move the house, rotate it, and then extend it a little bit and build this type of house that's in the red. I think that what was, I don't know if I can,
It's the hashed under that red, what was proposed.
yeah, let's see if I can highlight. This is what wrong color.
There's no additional grading.
This is what, I'm not sure she's not, this is what was proposed before.
Do we want to, is she going to be on tonight?
I don't know if she's gonna be on, I mean, she knows about the meeting, because I asked her to attend, so maybe we can hold it off until later.
Yeah, because we
No.
need to,
I'll email her.
I think.
Oops.
Did you, what did you?
Seemed to push a lot of the impact towards the wetland with the
Yeah.
driveway and the grading.
Yeah, they're staying outside the 50, but there is no proposed change in the grading. So I don't know if there will be grading or not. Looks like a garage under, but she'll have to state her case if she wants it to be a
Okay.
minor.
Very good.
We can't guess what they're doing because it looks like she just overlaid the red print. So there's a garage under on the left side, but it's just, we can't tell by looking, so.
Steve, was the grading and the driveway on the original plan then?
I think that's it. I think that, I have to ask her. I think all she did was move the house, so I think that was this is the original plan.
Yeah,
Let me show, let's see, let me show the original plan.
would prefer to wait for her, even if, she has to come to the next meeting. I don't want to keep guessing what they're doing,
Yeah, yeah.
because it looks like she just set the new shape on top of the old shape and,
Here's the original plan.
yeah,
So it looks like they just they just moved it into this driveway area.
yeah. And the driveway is smaller now.
And I think they put a retain, yeah, we'll wait. I'll email her, see if she can show up tonight.
Yeah, we'll put her at the end. Okay, next one, certificate of compliance, 56 Lakeshore Road. Steve, update.
Yeah, are they here tonight? So this was approved,
I don't see him.
Yeah, if I can speak up, I don't know, can you hear me, folks?
Yes, name and address.
Hi, Robert Moran, and I am a new owner of 56 Lakeshore Drive.
Oh, hi, how are
Hi.
you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So thank you, Madam Chair and members of the commission. And Steve, actually, we talked a couple of times before and exchanged some emails before we purchased. So I'm new to Douglas, and this was a little bit of a complicating factor to the purchase that we did, but we worked through it, and I'm here to sort of attest that I did see the folks do the work. I saw the guys out there and the machines and the silt fence and the silt socks, and it looks that it was professionally done. But I'm not a trained engineer that way. Actually, an electrical engineer. But my objective in coming to the commission's meeting tonight is to be certain that there's no adverse impact that inures to me as the new owner. I have no interest in, having an adverse relationship with the commission. I've actually served on planning authority board for 20 years. So I've been sort of in your seat, and I understand what's involved in the protocols. And I just want to be here and sort of support the commission's process and the review, and be a witness to the discussions about it as a very interested stakeholder. So that's all I really have to contribute. But go
Okay,
ahead,
thank you.
Steve. Yeah, thank you.
So did you request it, Bob, or did the owner request it? So you're the proposed owner, right?
I am the new owner.
You own the property.
I do. I own 56 Lakeshore, and I believe there was orders on 56 and 55. Is that right, Steve?
Right, so I got the plan up on the screen now. So I think the Callahan, I mean, the Cahill's, you must have just switched it because they requested a certificate of compliance a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
Okay,
I took some on this parcel here, parcel B.
yeah,
And I went out there, see, I got some photos I can show. And I explained to them that, looks like they did everything, two things the commission usually asks for is an as-built and then stabilization. So those are the two issues when I explained to the Cahills that that were kind of outstanding. So can you see the pictures in the screen?
yeah, and I also think, the big thing is if we issue a certificate of compliance, that means the erosion controls can be removed.
Right.
But you have to think of that would any erosion occur?
Yeah,
It
so
goes
there's
to
no
remove.
grass growing. Obviously, the grass isn't growing because they did the work in winter. And there was no as-built. But so those are the photos I have.
Board, do we have any questions?
Just real quick, is it Lakeshore Road or Lakeshore Drive?
Drive.
Is it drive? Was a road on there?
Yeah, yeah, it's road on the agenda, but,
Drive on the plan.
yeah,
I think
And I
drive is correct. Yeah.
Request for their certificate in our, Steve, they did submit a request, right?
They did.
Okay, it's just not in the files.
I'd agree with you, Tracy. I mean, I think that the work looks really well done,
Mhm.
but we have another couple months, 3 months of it being prone to erosion.
Mhm.
So I'd be concerned about giving a certificate of compliance until I saw some stabilization of the soil. Not
Yep.
just with mulch, but with grass or whatever.
Mhm.
Feeds.
I like seeing that silt fence remain through the winter.
Mhm.
yeah, I agree with Mark.
Okay, so consensus board, we're gonna table this till the site's stabilized. Steve, we need an as-built plan also?
Typically, unless the commission thinks it was done, it's up to the discretion of the commission. It was a small project. I can bring the, I can bring.
Or
the-
Do you
bring the
think
plan
we
up.
would require an as-built plan?
Not in my opinion.
Okay. Anyone else? Kind of a
No.
consensus that this doesn't need a full as-built,
Kind of late now.
but it does need grass growing?
Something to stabilize the possible erosion, yeah.
So we saw the plantings are there. And then we did the New England wetland plants mix on the rest. Bob, is that what you put down?
I didn't
Oh.
put it down. It was between Cahill and Goodison, the
Okay.
owner. and
Bob Murphy.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Bob Murphy,
yeah,
right, yeah.
the New England erosion control restoration mix for dry sites. That's what I believe he quoted. I'm just looking at the plan. There's two different spots. All right, so that's got to start growing before we can issue our certificate. Okay.
Yep, I defer to the commission. That's why I'm here to just kind of be an observer of it. And, it's in my interest to see grass growing there too.
Oh, yeah. So when, maybe middle way through springtime, give Steve a call if you think it's good, or send him a picture, email him a picture, and then
Yeah.
We can revisit this and get you taken care of. So you can get
Okay.
all the erosion controls removed and all that jazz.
Fair enough.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna,
Anything from the board? No?
Kidding me?
All right, moving right
All right.
along.
thank you all. I'm gonna duck out.
Steve, that number is correct also, right? 1003?
I believe so.
Okay, because the other one's 0000.
What other one?
That's what the plan shows.
I don't think it's 1,000.
It's, well,
Yeah, I don't think it's 1,000, no.
it says, oh, that's just a placeholder. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. 1,000 was Webster Street.
Oh, lucky. Okay, next one, we have a special permit application review for a duplex special permit, Gilboa Court Extension. Just looking for us to give our feedback.
Yeah, I think that I sent that out to everybody. I mean, this is a process where special permits, comments go to all boards and committees. Typically, the commission, they're going to file with the commission, so that would be the comment that they're filing.
Well, they had already gotten, they have an order there,
Oh,
don't
they have
they?
an order, right? So for this, it's really just, I think that it's more of a zoning change that they want to make, put duplexes instead of single-family homes there.
Yeah, they're not getting any closer and encroaching on the existing order. So it's just, yeah, it's a special permit to increase it to the 2-unit.
Right.
So board, do we have any comments or questions? I can reply with, there's an active order, I guess. Right? Steve, are you filling these out?
I can fill them out for you. if you want.
Project,
Yeah,
yeah.
we haven't had one in a while, but certainly, yeah, they're just
Oh.
one page.
Are the units within the buffer zone or are they outside of our jurisdiction?
They are,
If they are, that's a comment where if they were, then they would have to file. You could put,
the units themselves are not, but the driveways are. So the
So
plan,
are the driveways going to be doubled in size because of their changing from a single unit to 2 units? And so that would affect runoff?
it's hard to tell because we don't have the original plan, but if the scope of work under the original order expands, then they will have to file.
well, the scope of work would be just for the subdivision. And then any work, if this is for single family, basically if there was no special permit and they were filing a single family house, they would have to file with the commission if they're within their jurisdiction.
And the short answer, Mark, is yes, they
Yeah.
are increasing a little bit on the driveways. If you're looking at the plan, the 2 bottom lots where the wetland is, yes, they are increasing. I believe they're increasing the house footprint and the driveway is the only thing in the wetland. So yes, they are.
Well, you can put that they have to file for any work within the jurisdiction of the commission as a comment,
But we already have an order, don't we?
just for the subdivision, not for the houses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so lots, the 2 lots on the bottom are definitely, have driveways. Yeah. Yeah, so we can say that.
Yeah, it would seem to me like they would need to file an amendment to their order if the scope of work changes and increases.
That and if they resize the septics,
Let me see here, hang on.
it looks like the septics might be out of our jurisdiction. I've got it pulled up,
Yeah.
but I don't have the previous version.
Well, let me bring it up. for everyone.
Yeah, so to make it a little bit cleaner, they would file individually for those 2 bottom lots.
Right, and they'd have to show, like, maybe I just don't see it. I don't see the buffer zone. Oh, maybe, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
this,
so this is, the one I have open shows the driveways and what looks like the septics.
Yeah. There's an old one that just had the roadway within the jurisdiction.
Yeah,
And then you have the proposed house locations.
yeah, so.
okay, so this one I've got with the houses and the driveways has the septics outside our jurisdiction.
Correct, yes.
This plan here, you looking at?
No, there's that's the old one, but There was one, the old one does have driveways on it too.
I've got the file that's in the Google Drive called duplex site.
Yep, that's the one. So the bottom right.
Here.
Yeah, this one.
Yep.
So they've got septics, but they're outside of our jurisdiction. But I mean, just the fact that they're now showing the septics out is we didn't have that before.
Well, the subdivision, when they filed for the subdivision, even though they showed the houses, that was just for planning purposes. It wasn't for permitting purposes because it was for the subdivision. So those houses that were approved under the conservation for the road, that was the order of condition for Gilboa for this project was for the street only. None of the
Right.
houses, even though the houses showed on the plan, they would still, and the plan was approved, they would still have to come back for each individual house if it was in the jurisdiction of the commission. So if this house here in the bottom right, if this is a single family or a duplex, they would have to file with the commission regardless if it was a single family or a duplex.
Okay, I understand now.
And so the special permit now, what they're doing for the special permit is the commission have an issue of them changing this from the zoning really from single family to duplex. The fact that it's going from single family to duplex, if the driveway and all the work was within the jurisdiction, the comment should be they need to file for any work within the jurisdiction of the commission.
Yeah. And page 13 of 12 of the original plan set also shows the one driveway. So on the titled subdivision PDF. Okay, so Steve, you'll fill that out for me?
Yes.
Okay. Moving along, picket fence.
I think they have, it was just the application. I think they're filing because it's hard to determine. I asked for more information. I think they put is it for putting the,
Concrete patio that they poured.
right,
So it's in the aquifer, right?
in the aquifer, but I looked at the Google Maps. I mean the aerials and did it looks like it's outside the riverfront area, outside any jurisdiction of the commission.
Okay, so I don't see a plan.
I didn't see a plan, just the application.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really tough to see anything that's our jurisdiction if we don't have a plot plan.
Well, let's see. I think, did I email that to you? Let me go.
Okay, rendering impervious more than 20% of the lot area.
Let me go on the GIS.
Well, I really don't like to go on the GIS. We can just say if this falls within the riverfront or the buffer, if she
Right.
is. We can't be looking things up and guessing on plans. I'm sure that there's going to be a plan submitted to planning board, right?
You can say that, yeah, any work within jurisdiction of the commission, they need to file.
Yeah. We have no plot plan, so we don't know where any of the
Right.
districts are or the resource areas. Resource areas unknown. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. And then you have a special one that's invisible on mine, for 117 Shore Road.
that's right.
Katie Grace, could you, take over for me? And I'm going to recuse myself from this, discussion item.
Yes, I will most certainly do that.
Thank you very much. All right, I'll be right back. How do I do this? Okay.
Certainly.
That was 117 Shore Road.
Yeah, I'm looking for the folder for it.
Again, is that Shore Road or Shore Drive?
It's Shore Road.
Shore Road.
Road 117.
So this is just on a discussion.
This is just the drive.
That's his drive.
This is a driveway repair and
Yes, so,
tree removal.
yeah, so it's a driveway repair.
Yeah.
So Lawrence is here from, so what happened is, I don't know if Lawrence wants to, you still here, Lawrence?
Yeah, I'm still here, listening intently. Basically, there was during the heavy rains that happened just before Christmas. It appeared that some of the water that had come out of the woodland to the, it's not south, it's west of our site, had pooled on Lakeshore Road, and then had run off across the lady, is it 117 Shore Drive? And it had created a bit of a channel and washed some of her driveway down into her sort of front porch and steps area. I met with Bill Cundiff out on site, and we've agreed that we're going to repair the driveway. But because of its proximity to the lake, we want to find out whether there's any restrictions, permits, or anything that the Concom want to do. Happy to meet you down there for any inspections. We were going to patch the process to repair the driveway. We're obviously building roadways on the solar site. We were going to use the same material to patch the area of the driveway, pack it down, compress it, create a bit of a berm to prevent any washout going down there again. We can put a silt sock or one of the straw bales down there to prevent anything going down, just in best practice on that. And then just obviously clear up some of the sediment that had washed down onto her porchway.
So this is the, is this GIS up on the screen?
Yes.
So this is where the solar farm is, and they have it mostly cleared. And right after we had the large snowstorm earlier in the year, and then we had the 3 inches of rain, water was just pulling down Shore Road here. And this area that I have highlighted is the person's house, which is probably at the low point of Shore Road. So water was just channeling down here and then took a right down into her driveway. And so is this photo showing up now?
No, we're still looking at GIS.
All right, hang on, let me bring the photos up.
I looked in the I
So
looked at the
here's,
pictures in this file on the Google file, and I watched the small video.
yeah, so here's, yeah, so this is the Shore Road. This, and then the water came down here, and it started, it just erode the house, the driveway out. So the question is, can any of the gentleman from the solar farm is willing to come, work with the town engineer and the highway department to come and just kind of repair this driveway. And so the question is, can they just go ahead and do it, or do they need to file anything with the commission? Is there about, the car here is probably within the 100-foot, right where the car is.
I would say repair work should be handled without the need for a filing.
Right, that's what we thought, but we just wanted to make sure the commission was aware of it.
Nope.
But I would also ask.
Okay, so if
what is
we
being done to keep this from happening again.
Say that, Mark?
I said, what can be done to keep this from happening again, or is it because the erosion protections within the solar farm were not installed as of yet? And that's why.
They've been installed. I didn't see, I walk it weekly, and then I did a in-depth walk yesterday along the entire perimeter. I didn't notice any silt leaving the silt fence or anything piled up. I'm not sure. It was just one of those things, we had all that rain and then the snow and.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
Yeah, it was just, we also have we were caught out at the point that everything all happened before the basins have been completed. So once those basins are in, there's obviously a lot more capacity. There is a question whether it came from our site. We had to cross 300 foot of woodland of various different things. We're not interested in sort of arguing that point. It's a relatively straightforward repair, so we're just happy to repair it to be a good neighbor. And so yeah, the chances of it happening again, as soon as those basins are in, there'll be nothing that comes from our site on that basis because of the capacity that's there. And obviously stabilization in the spring, because we don't have any grass growth or anything on the site at the moment either, because it's all being done in the winter. We have obviously doing the stabilization per the requirements, but there's no physical grass growing because it's too cold.
Has construction of the basins been started?
They were started. The road was getting down to the point at the end of last week. The problem that we had was the material supplier was the Christmas week, and the road wasn't down far enough before Christmas, and we've had to wait until this first week in January before we could get the material to get the road down there.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it was literally the perfect storm, heavy snowfall, 2 heavy bouts of rain over the Christmas week. It was,
it's just the way things seem to be going. Those perfect storms seem to be happening more and more often. And so I normally I'd be happy to just see the driveway repaired. I certainly appreciate it immensely. I'm sure we'd like to see a plan, because whatever work you end up doing, it's going to drive the runoff, even in a smaller storm, one way or the other, right? It's gonna have some kind of grading. So I definitely want to see a plan that shows grading, that shows, what angle the water is planned to go once it comes off that driveway. And then of course, even if you can list it in a document, that's preferable, but I otherwise can describe to us just what the construction sequence is.
Are you talking about the driveway or the solar farm? Sorry, just for clarification.
Yeah, the driveway.
The driveway. Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
Just so we know, like, how long, or if there's going to be heavy machinery within the resource buffer zone, and
No, the heaviest machinery will be the dump truck that brings the material down. It will be tamped down either with a hand tamp or one of the mechanical ones. That's just a one-person use, no heavy machinery. And then everything else down towards where the wetland is just clean up, so it's brooms and things like that.
Okay, so I guess part of the reason
we're not using excavators. We're not using
I'd be looking for a plan, because I'd want to see if there's any kind of retaining wall going in there and just what grade the gravel's going to be sloped towards.
Yeah, there's no retaining wall or anything. We're just literally reinstating the driveway that was existing rather than building a new driveway.
Okay.
We're repairing the driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't clear to me, I guess, from the pictures whether or not, I see the damaged driveway.
We're gonna fill this in so she can park her car on it.
I get it. I'm afraid that they're going to dump gravel in and it's going to wash out again.
I agree.
Yeah, no, and that's why we're here. We will put a silt sock or something at the base of the driveway until just to at least see until we've had some rains and things like that to confirm that it's there. But obviously, it was a loose packed driveway anyway, as most of the ones are down there. There's very little tarmac. It's an unmade road.
When do you think the detention pond will be completed?
Sorry.
That is probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. will be fully completed. We are looking at a couple of things. Bill Cundiff has asked us to have a look at the approved plans that we have to see if there's anything we can do about the outlet pipe and level spreader that's on the downward slope. He wants to see if there's anything else we can do with that. So the engineers are reviewing that to see if there's any improvements that we can do. But if there aren't any improvements that are required, then yeah, it'll be 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, so again, are we going to see a plan for the driveway repair?
Well, I don't know what kind of plan you need. We're not planning on changing any of the levels. It's completely existing. We're just planning to fill in those ruts and compact and provide a berm at the front of the driveway to prevent the water flowing down over the driveway there.
Okay, so you are putting a berm up in the front.
Well, just not just a lip on the driveway rather than anything more. Because if you go back to the picture again, you can see that it was just going to make it uniform at the front there rather than as it was. Yeah. So there's just going to be a bit of a build-up lip across the front there.
And where will that push the water to?
That's the low spot of the road.
I'd be concerned about putting a lip there because if you put a lip
Okay.
there, the water builds up behind it, then all of a sudden it goes over the top. That's when it will really erode.
Okay, we won't put the lip then. I mean, I've got to fully discuss it exactly with the homeowner because obviously we're going to be going onto her driveway, but we didn't want to have those discussions until we knew what the Conservation Commission's requirements were going to be.
Is there any way to slow the water down instead of just putting processed material and packing it? Whether there's any way to have it run through any riprap before it goes past the house? I don't know. Hard to see.
It's a row of houses right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not a substantial elevation change that I'd want to see riprap as opposed to, woodlands.
Yeah, I just didn't know how big the driveway was and whether the right side of that driveway, instead of it being processed, it could be a little bit heavier of material to that's less erodible than a stone dust pack.
Steve, can you show? I know it's from a different filing, and the picture does look different. Can you show one of the pictures from the tree removal? I know they're from a long time ago. They're from a different event, but it shows a previous version of the driveway. I'm looking at DSCN 1944.jpg out of the Google Drive. Yeah, so I mean that's a pretty good. So this is the same driveway for the members of the commission, well before the damage. Note the car's not in there, and honestly, at this time, and again, this was I don't know a couple of years ago, it was pretty level. So I guess I'm asking Lawrence if this is your intent to restore it to look like it does in this picture.
Well, yeah, obviously we can see where the erosion has happened, and we're going to bring it up to level where the erosion has happened. We're not planning on bringing additional material down to level it up or anything like that. That's way beyond the scope. We're talking about a driveway repair. I mean, if the owner wants to redo the driveway, then I can have a conversation about a contribution that we can have towards that. But our intention was to repair the driveway for the damage rather than re-level her driveway.
Right. And I understand where you're coming from with that. My fear still exists that it would just wash out again. And I guess your insurance that it won't wash out again is because in the future, your project will be further stabilized.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've got 200 to 300 feet of woodland between our our farm and Lakeshore Road.
Mhm.
And at that sort of that far westerly point, there's a large basin that goes in there as well. And there's obviously the rest of the site moving forward in the spring. We're going to have it's a wildflower meadow that we're putting there. So it's not short grass. It's a wildflower meadow that's left to grow throughout the year with only selective cutting at points. So it's allowed to grow tall. So there is very little sheet runoff from it. So yeah, moving forward, it's that case. But yeah, the intention from us was to repair the driveway, not improve the driveway.
All right.
Katie, I'm glad you had him show this picture because I see it in a different light now by seeing that the rocks there next to the driveway are exposed in this picture. So it had runoff over it before. And I had thought that maybe those rocks became exposed because of this storm and this water flow that we recently had, but that's not the case. They were exposed previously. So I just would really fear dumping a bunch of material on top of those rocks that's loose material, because as you said, it's just going to wash again, and therefore we're going to just put more. I
mean, would something like the tailings, which does kind of solidify in the sun, would something like that be as again, I would have to speak to the owner about what they want. It's their driveway. I mean, we could use, say, 6-inch core material to go down there, so that wouldn't wash away. It would also act as a trap for any sediment that's going down there, but obviously it's a little bit more bumpy on a driveway, even though it would be compacted. That wouldn't wash out at all, and it would act as a sediment trap as well. Would that be something that would be a preferable solution? But again, just to clarify, I would have to confirm with the homeowner it's her driveway, and she obviously had the fine material on there before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's recycled material. You have asphalt. That's not a product I'd like to see washing towards a nice pond. Plus, it's not going to solidify until it gets into the heat of the summer. And our issue is right now. So
yeah,
I don't. I prefer the original recommendation of a repair over that. But thank you for offering that. I'm at the point where I'm okay with what you're proposing originally, just the gravel repair of the driveway, and the understanding that the plan is it would not happen again because of the changes and the updates to your solar project.
So the other thing that I can offer is that we're obviously having our weekly SWIP inspections along with after any storm events. If I included the SWIP inspection to send the company down there to look at the driveway on a weekly basis as well, just to make sure that would pick up obviously any of the smaller rain events that may or may not happen, to see how that's all staying there.
I mean, that would be incredibly reassuring.
Yeah. Okay. I'm more than happy to do that.
And is there an ability to put a straw wattle or silt fence at the bottom of the driveway where that wood pile is to?
Yes, I don't see any reason why we couldn't use one of the, I think, the straw wattle or something like that at the bottom of the driveway. I don't see any reason why we couldn't do that. Obviously, a silt fence, because it would there's a pathway that goes from the end of the driveway between the house for her to be able to access her garden. We could have a look at the ways in which we can put something sort of spread out, so catch it in two directions rather than completely blocking it off. But yeah, more than happy to put one of those on the bottom as well.
Thank you.
Excellent. Do we have any other questions? All right. We don't have a voting item, or are we just we're filling out a new form?
It was just an informal discussion to see if they have to file.
Great.
Yeah. So no filing, but repairs in accordance with your recommendations.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fine. So I'll get the weekly added to this weekly SWIP inspections. We'll get the driveway repaired. We'll put some straw wattles down to catch any erosion in the unlikely event that there is any, and just make sure that it's all repaired. Excellent.
Thank you.
Good. And then we'll talk in the spring on the tree clearing.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
The commission wants, I mean, I can send you a link to the photos I took yesterday. I didn't have them on me today.
Okay, I'm back. Mike's got to roll in a little bit, so, Mike, you just let me know. So next item is the withdrawn application for the RDA 37 Glen Street. Steve, you're just looking for a motion to accept the withdrawal of this application without prejudice.
Thank you.
So moved.
Motion's been made,
Second.
seconded, roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll just go down to the 37 Glen Street certificate request. So we have a bunch of pictures. Steve, you want to just lead us through that?
Yeah, so so let me bring up, see if I can bring up both plans, all three plans. Hang on. I hope this works. Let's see. Okay. Can you see the plan on the screen?
Yes,
Let's see if I get rid of the photo.
I can.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this, I have this,
Is this 748 or 749?
this is 7, let's see. Let's see. This is 749, so this is 748. So what happened is that here's Glen Street. And there's actually, originally there was two plans. There's one for this house here for 748. And then there was actually a long driveway that comes back all the way to the back, which is this plan. And they were gonna put a house way back. There's a little crossing here, and then way back into the lot, there was at 749, there was gonna be a house. And if you go out to the, behind the convenience store, there's a solar farm. That's over here that's what this area is here, is the old gravel pit. The owner combined both of these lots. They never built this house way back here. So they combined both lots. They built the house in the front. They took the gravel from here, reclaimed it. They built the replication area back here. And so they're just gonna leave this all as an open area. And that's what this as-built shows. So this as-built is an as-built for both lots. So it's the first lot here, and they kept everything outside the 100-foot buffer. And then when you see my photos, there was a proposed house back here. They never built it. So they kind of took this hill down and they restabilized it, and they put some, and they did the wetlands back here. This is where they withdrew when they came in about a month and a half ago. They wanted, there was a little ungrown in area here of natural area in front. That's what the RDA was for.
Right by the road.
Up by the road.
Yeah.
So, but they already had a couple order conditions. So let me bring my photos up. These photos were taken sometime in the fall. And I'll just kind of go through them one at a time. So this is the beginning of the area. This is that area that they filed the RDA today that they just withdrew. We're going to keep it in its natural state. This is the beginning of the road. That's that area.
Are you going to double click on that? We can't see what you're looking at.
We just see the thumbnails.
There's
Oh.
not loading.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You see it now?
Yep.
Yes.
There you go.
All right, good. So this is that area that the RDA, they just withdrew. This is the beginning of the house. I'm gonna go through it. This is the construction inside of the slope right here. This is the area that, so they put a little area for the horse area. Everything else is stabilized. The side slope, they got riprap along the bottom. And now I'm coming down into this area where they had just a tiny little area of a wetland that they crossed. This is where that second house was gonna be back here that they never built. This is the side slope of the wetland area. So this is the big slope in the back of the property. So the house is gonna go up to my right. This is a little tiny wetland crossing. It's almost like a finger that they filled in. The wetland stops actually right where the road is, and they filled in maybe right where the road was, and able to put it in. The town well is off to my right here. So if you come down Glen Street, you see the access to the town well. That's that road that's over here. And this is where that house was gonna be, but they combined the lots. This is the GU gravel pit behind the convenience store. Douglas convenience store is right here. That's that solar farm. This was done in October, so they put some check dams up here to help stabilize any area that was eroding back then. And this is the replication area. And they had the plantings that were planted here, and the vegetation came up naturally. It was a low-lying area, there's a wetland back in here. And here's a look going back off towards where, this is where the other second house is gonna be, they never built. And so that's the entire site. Back through them real quick so you can kind of see. I mean, anytime they had an erosion or an issue, the owner, Adolphinese, I think, is the one of the owners. So he used to run a hydro seed company, which I was very happy for, because he was on top of the place and really did a great job, I thought, keeping the place from stabilized.
What's your opinion of the work, Steve? Does it look good?
It was great. I mean, I'd go out, I was going out during the heyday every week, at least weekly, when it was, they were stabilizing it. And anytime I had any questions at all, they got right on top of it. So right now it's really well established.
And is the mitigation area of the size that was proposed and looked like it would be
It looked good. I mean, what was nice is that it was already growing. A lot of it, the big thing with replication area is making sure that the elevation of the replication area is done adequately, because sometimes they're either too high and it never grows, or too low, it's too wet. And a lot of that stuff came back naturally, and then they supplemented it with the plants that were on the plan. So I think it's looks like it's taken off. We can certainly, I don't know if they got a report from their wetland scientists, but it looked like from what I saw that it was taken off adequately at the time in October.
Okay, any other board members have any questions on this request?
It looks pretty good. Do we want to do a site walk, or is that like, is it accessible, or would it be weird if we did a
I was
site
gonna
walk?
go back out, and she was nervous. I mean, I didn't want me to go out without having an escort because of the horses and stuff. So we would have to schedule something if you'd like to go out. I don't think they have an issue at all. I think the contractor is here tonight, Murray. If you have any questions, you can answer them.
Yes, Board. Murray Bristol from Pine Sand and Stone. Happy to go over anything that you guys have questions on. And, Steve pretty, did a great job with kind of summarizing what was going on.
Yeah, I guess I was confused by the connection to the solar field. Is that the two properties are connected?
Yeah, they share a boundary, right? Property.
Okay. But I just,
Let me bring it up on the screen.
I'm just, because we're talking about solar fields and just the amount of water that gets dumped through, would you expect that if there was more, the solar field's been there for a long time?
A number of years, I believe.
Okay.
Maybe 10, you think? I'm not sure. But
The properties aren't connected. It's just adjacent to it.
Well, I'm just talking from a runoff perspective, and if you haven't seen like a major runoff event from that solar field in the last, what would you say, decade, then I think we're probably good.
Yeah, so you have, is this the GIS on the screen?
Yes.
So
Oh,
here-
thank you.
here's the fire station. And then it's right behind the fire station of the convenience store. And then here's the GU gravel pit. So this is where the solar farm is, all flat. And then, so this is where that house, this is where the project that came in. I walked in, these two lots are combined now.
Okay.
And I walked through here, this is one big hill. And so they kind of took this hill down, and then the replication area is right over here adjacent to this wetland you see here. So there's no runoff from the solar farm coming this way. This is elevated.
Right.
What we saw.
Okay. That answers my question. And like all that open space that was reseeded with grass, that was all part of the plan that was going to be open.
That was part of,
Yes,
it was supposed to be the second house lot. And they combined in both lots, so they got rid of the potential of putting a house back there.
No, I get that. It's just not knowing what the original plan was. It just seems like a very large area of disturbance. But like, just trying to get a handle on, I guess.
I think they took the gravel. And they were,
Right.
They wanted the gravel, and then they proposed the house, and they were going to put the house back there. And I think the owner of that.
Right. And I feel like, so I'm approaching this the wrong way, but like when you're dealing with a gravel pit, the idea is when you're done with the gravel pit, you restore the space. And I would just expect, more trees. And this just seems like an awful lot of grass. But if the original plan was like, hey, instead of replanting, we're going to put, lawn and driveways and other stuff in, then that's what the plan was. And that's what was approved. And then they're in compliance.
well, I think they might be putting horses back there, to pasture. So they'll use it at the flat land for that use.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not what I would expect, but again, I didn't see the original plan, and as long as it's compliant with the original plan, then we're good.
Well, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, we've gone through planning board and everything like that. We've got sign off from Bill and that group as well. So,
Thank you.
Rather see the horses grazing than have the driveway anyway, so.
yeah.
Okay. Art, anything else?
No, not from me.
Mike,
Nope, I'm okay.
Katie Grace,
All set. Thank you.
Eric,
All set.
Mark,
All set.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move we issue a certificate of compliance for 37 Glen Street.
Second,
Can you do each number? So there's two numbers, Art,
Oh, okay. For the DEP numbers?
please.
Yeah, so this first motion will be for DEP 143-0748 to issue a certificate of compliance.
Motion's made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Munjamai.
Thank you. And the next
I'll
one,
make the motion that we issue a certificate of compliance for DEP number 143-0749.
Second.
motion made and seconded by Mark. Roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Munjam, aye.
Thank you very much, Murray.
Thank you, board.
Okay, Mike, do you have to leave?
How much longer are you gonna be, you think?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna recuse myself for the next two items and then 7 PM. Steve, did we have a revised plan for that?
For which one?
Oh, I'm sorry. The 10, number 10. You didn't catch me. I've been sleepy.
I'll hang around a bit longer.
Okay, all right, okay. So I'm gonna recuse myself and Katie Grace, if you could take over for me, please.
Yeah, we were just on Glen Street. So are we on Joseph Road now?
No, I skipped over that, so we're back
184 West
to
Street.
old business certificate of compliance, 184 West Street. Number 8.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Which I was reading. Oh, it's one at 7 o'clock. So I'm gonna recuse myself.
Yeah, they all say 7 o'clock. It doesn't.
I know. I'm gonna go take it.
Okay, have fun. All right, thank you. 184 West Street, DEP number 143508. This is a certificate of compliance?
Yeah, so this was, they filed years ago and they never did the work, so
Okay, yep.
closing out the order. That no
Yeah,
work.
that's, I took a walk out there.
I did too, but I'm trying to understand what the sequence of paperwork is. And
So there was an existing order of conditions that they just have to close out the paperwork on.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So the existing order of conditions, which was issued at like 2003, we need to close that out before we, get an order on the second one.
So I agree. Board. So understanding under that order, no work was done.
No work.
Okay. And we want to take a vote on that. I assume we have to.
They'll have to close it out. If you give them a certificate of compliance, aren't you saying that the work was done in compliance with the permit?
Well, there's a check mark for saying that no work had commenced on the order. There's an area in the certificate of compliance that says that no work was started under that order, so they can because it's still recorded at the registry, it's still lien on the property on the registry of deeds. So they need to have the certificate to take that lien off and expunge the order. Or stay there in perpetuity. So in theory, if they went to sell it or refinance right now, the bank would say you have an open order of conditions.
Right.
No, and I mean, this is how we've done it in the past. When there's a new plan, we got to close out the old one, and we usually take a vote to do that. So unless we have other questions about the old order of conditions.
Because they can't, in theory, the old order has expired. So that if they wanted to do work under the old order, they can't. That's why they refiled technically. Because they,
Yeah, we've
Okay.
been in this situation before.
yeah, I was just,
Yeah, so we can issue a certificate of compliance as long as there's a notation that no work was done.
right.
I put that in the motion.
There you go. I'll second that.
You can't make and second it, Art.
He made the motion. Okay, we'll issue of certificate of compliance, making a notation that no work was ever attempted or completed or
Commence.
Commenced.
There you go.
Second,
Roll call vote.
Art Motmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Mungem,
AG Dudley, aye. All right, thank you. So that's all set. So then we're back to the plan.
The NOI, yes. So our last discussion, you guys are going to go out and take a site walk. If you'd like, I'll run through the plan really quickly. It's approximately I'm going to say over a 600-foot driveway in. Most of it's already existing cart path that's already there, roughly about 12 to 15 feet wide. We're following that in at the beginning, and we're going to make a little bit of a detour because it crosses somebody else's property line there, and we don't want to do that. And we're gonna go around that little corner with a new driveway there, and then follow it all the way up until we get to that swale. And then we're gonna cross the swale and go up the rest of the side of the property to the house, the septic, and the well in the back. So I've upgraded on the swale. I've added two 12-inch corrugated pipes, a 22-foot long conch block wall, and a 12-foot driveway with associated grading. At the outfall of the pipes, I've put on there a 6-by-6-foot 6-inch riprap, so that the water that does come out of there, it doesn't just flow freely down the little swale. What was originally there that was on the first plan that the commission had seen, the 2003 plan, was two 18-inch, but I thought that those were a little bit too large, considering there's only one 12-inch upstream. So if there's a 12-inch upstream, two 18s are a little bit big. So I put the two 12s in, again, following through with the metal corrugated pipe. It is a swale, as there's not much running water that does run through, but there is. And I've added a stockpile to the side there, so that whatever is taken out of there can be put into that stockpile area and replaced around that area when they are through. I've added a double row of straw wattles around it, and also on the uphill side, just so that they don't go any further, and get a little overzealous. If you want to go through this plan one more time, there is no proposed work within the wetland buffer itself. There is the existing driveway does encroach into that wetland, 100-foot wetland buffer, but only where it's already existing, as it comes in and takes a corner. Right there. Yep. Right at the sharp corner there, that sharp bend. There's a little, about 38 square foot of area within the 100-foot buffer right there, but it's already there. It's already existing.
How much riverfront area disturbance do you have?
The riverfront area is on there. It's in like a gold yellow color. That's the 200-foot outer riparian. And the 100-foot is the other yellow line. The wetland line is in like an orange. Hundred-foot buffer, I mean. The wetlands themselves are in green.
Good. Yeah. I
So-
mean, I walked the site and this looks like what I saw. Sorry, just to clarify, is it one or two 12-inch pipes in there?
Two 12-inch pipes,
Side by each?
side by each.
By each. There you go.
Well, okay, so I see only one line on the diagram and my brain was like, did she put one on top of the other? And I
No,
thought that was crazy,
they're-
but I thought it was
Really
nasty.
wide line. See, there's two.
I just be like, look, there's one on top. Yeah, I just thought that would be crazy, but I don't know. People do crazy things sometimes. Okay, perfect, great. Okay, so and what? I'm just thinking of it. You don't think there's any issue of those being blocked? I just have this fear that if the water's coming through there, and I know it's not like fast, it's a swale of water. It's not just going to push a pile of pine leaves in there and get it clogged.
I would hope it doesn't.
I mean, we all hope that. But...
I mean, what would you propose? I mean, would you propose a little bit of riprap before it?
I would actually.
I can do that.
As much as I hate riprap, I feel like this is the place where it's appropriate.
I'll agree with you. There's pine needles there,
Yeah.
and quite a bit of them, and I'll entertain that.
Okay.
Okay.
Board, anything else?
The applicant proposed or says that this is a swale. just what's the difference between a swale and an intermittent stream?
It's not doesn't have any vegetation, and since the last filing in 2003, the hydrology has changed out there. So it's no longer an intermittent stream at all. I mean, it doesn't hold water. It doesn't have a true stream channel to it. It's got like drainage channel to it. Like you can see where it's just eroded the soil as it's gone down, but it doesn't sustain that. Did you take a walk out there, Mark?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would just, Karen, I would call it a intermittent stream just because it's hydrically connected. If you have a swale, if the swale was up gradient from the resource area, then I think technically, if this was the only resource area, technically, this would be, you could call this not hydrically connected, but not technically a stream. But because there's a resource area over here that's feeding it, this swale is hydrically connected to our upland resource area. So through definitions, it would be jurisdictional. So that's why, but the resource area itself in the old plan, when I think I have it marked out, it did not cross this area. I think Margaret actually flagged it 15 years ago. It stopped here and it stopped right where the path was going, above and below it. So the only thing that crossed was a little area. But jurisdictionally, I don't think if you call it a stream or not, you're not changing the design because it's a stream or not. You'd have to, because it's intermittent, they would have to take a look at the open, maybe the open ratio would come into effect. We'd have to look at that a little bit. But to answer Mark's question, hydrically connected, I mean, technicality wise, we would have to look at the regulations that it would be jurisdictional.
Yeah, I saw it to be very well defined. So it really looked like an intermittent stream to me. What is the area within the riverfront for the driveway?
The riverfront area itself?
Yes. What's the disturbance area within the riverfront?
Yeah, I do have some numbers for that. The total riverfront area on the lot is 119,945 square feet. That's the total riverfront area. The total proposed disturbance within the riverfront area is 3,236 square feet. There's zero disturbance within the 0 to 100 foot riverfront. And it's the disturbance between the 100 and the 200 is 3,236 square feet.
What's because I think it was on our comments last time, putting that on did you put those calculations on the plan?
I did. They're right there on the bottom. Yep. You just had your hand on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the percentage of that?
Right there. The percentage is 6.87 disturbance.
Oh, right here. Okay, good. So just so the commission knows, so the most you can disturb is 10%.
And has there been a check to see if there's any species or habitat issues with this?
There is habitat. We have filed with them and we got notification back that they're okay with this plan. They're good with the plan, so.
Thanks.
Yep. Does any of the other commission members have any questions?
If we don't have any other questions of the board, I believe this is still a public hearing. Do we have anyone from the public to talk on this item? That's all I'm looking at. Yeah, it's not looking like it.
I move we close the public hearing.
I heard a motion.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second that.
All right, take a vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Mungem, no.
Oh,
No to close the public hearing?
And issue an order of conditions?
No, we're still closing the public hearing.
Are you
So
going
I
to issue, are you issuing an order of conditions when you do that?
No,
No.
it's another motion.
Okay.
So Mark, you wanted to keep the public hearing open?
Yes.
Can I ask why?
Because I think it's an intermittent stream and not a swale, and so I think the plan should identify it as such.
Hmm.
Would you change the design if it were, or do you just want it marked differently?
If it's an intermittent stream, she's gonna have to meet the open stream ratio.
Okay.
Open-
I guess, yes, I guess Steve answered that question instead of me, but yeah, I mean, if it may impact the design, yes.
Okay.
So wait a minute, so what are you asking me?
We're stating that if it's deemed an intermittent stream, then you have to do the intermittent stream ratio as opposed to just, oh, this is 2 and 12-inch pipes.
Okay.
And right now we have, what do we, oh gosh, now I feel dumb. What do we need to have a majority? Because we already have 3 yeses.
I think you're getting confused there. I think the board already voted on the public hearing. That what we're talking about now needs to be in the with the notice of with the order of conditions rather.
Well. You can,
So I already have 3 yeses out of 5 members present. Do I just need a majority?
Yep.
unless
Okay.
you-
So in that case, because I
You
would
can
say
vote.
I abstained, and I'm gonna go because I kind of agree with Mark's point, and so it carries with 3 that we've closed the public hearing, but now we have to put together an order of conditions.
Right.
And I want to know what the board thinks about what Mark just said. Do we want to say that this is an intermittent stream based on our site walk? And therefore call that this has to have a stream ratio calculation.
Can I interrupt here?
Yeah,
It's
please
not-
speak.
Okay, so it's not on the GIS as an intermittent stream. It's not on GIS stating this is an intermittent stream. Steve, what's your opinion? Do you think it's an intermittent stream? Or do you think that this is just a drainage swale? That it drains, that wetland drains into that other wetland?
Well, I think if you go with the,
What do the regulations call an intermittent stream compared to a swale?
hang on a second. So the old plan calls it an intermittent stream. What was approved back in 2000.
Right, and between 2003 and now, the hydrology of that wetland has changed.
Is there, is there a wetland that's up gradient, that's underneath the house, this right here, we're on the plan.
Right,
There's a wetland here that feeds it.
right. So there's a corrugated metal pipe that
Sure.
crosses somebody's driveway. It has been crushed and you can't even see the inlet to that corrugated pipe. It's on my plan in red. I located it. It's on my plan in red and it
Is it-
shows that pipe. The inlet to that pipe is completely blocked. You can't even find it.
Well,
What's on the other side of that inlet is pretty much kind of like a pile of, it's almost like a man-made area. And that's where that water is coming from. It's like people have pushed the earth one way and they've pushed this backyard another way and they've created a wetland up there. There was probably a much bigger wetland up there at one time, but it has changed over time.
Yeah, I mean, it's the intermittent stream they have on the plan, it have it labeled down gradient, because I colored the old plan. I don't see if I could, let's see if I can color. So they have the wetlands right here.
Big, right.
And then they have a wetland that kind of comes like this on the old plan. This area here, on this plan, they're not calling that as a resource area. Because this is F6 here, it's almost like the flag stop. It's hard to see it because it crosses an existing cart path. So it's hydrically connected. It's for me, it's hard. I didn't really notice it when I walked out there in the middle of summertime. I walked through this area and did not see that this was a bank that I was climbing over. It wasn't until I got down into this wetland and I walked up that I noticed this was eroding. So, and then through here, so.
But it's eroding. It's eroding. It's not a channeled intermittent stream. Like let's just say the one that I flagged at 93 Davis Street. That was an intermittent stream, no doubt. No doubt. There was water flowing in it. This is like it flows when there's real heavy rain and it doesn't flow if there's no rain or there's little rain. And if you walked it, the wetland does creep up that hill from the bottom, and I flagged it as such.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Karen.
But it doesn't really have a channel. It doesn't have there's no channel there. It's not until you get further down that you can actually see a channel. And basically, it's not even a channel. It's just eroded some of the rocks away. I mean, that's pretty flat. It's got no bank to it right there. It just flows. It's like an overflow.
It is. It's a really tricky area. I think the original plan that showed no pipe at all was a mistake. Because
I agree with you.
This would have happened.
It would have blocked it. It would have blocked it. But I was out there for a while, and I was out there multiple times during the fall at different times, and it was dry the whole entire time I was out there. Never saw a bit of water out there. And yes, it was dry. We had a very dry season, but it's fairly flat, and that to me that is not an intermittent stream.
I took this after a one of the heavy rainstorms we had last fall. So this is the amount of flow that we had.
Honestly, it's really an ephemeral flow. It's technically not, in order for it to be an intermittent stream, it has to have a source upstream. And I think that's where we're getting caught up, because we're debating whether or not there's a source upstream. What's downstream, for the technical sake of this argument, does not matter. What matters is, does this have a source upstream, or does this only occur with rainfall? Because that makes the difference between an intermittent stream and an ephemeral stream. Or the term swale, I feel ambivalent about. I don't think this is an intermittent stream. I don't know how many other classifications there are, but I mean, I guess what we're caught up here is on the stormwater or the flow calculation that you would need to do if it's deemed an intermittent stream.
Well, I just don't think that it's an intermittent stream. And I think I've done due diligence by putting two 12-inch pipes in there, and I'm with riprap on both ends because you wanted it upstream, and I'm okay with that, you know. And I just don't see the flow that it would require. And again, it's not on the GIS that it's an intermittent stream. You know, I'm telling you, it's not. That's a very small flow, and it's a flat flow on top of that.
Okay. All right, we closed out the public hearing. We can't move forward without figuring out what we're going to do. I will entertain either a motion or we have to say that we're not going to do it.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem with issuing orders of conditions that included the two 12-inch pipes, the grading, the wall, the riprap, the stockpile area, but also showing an intermittent stream and doing the calculations we talked about.
Can we add that in an order of conditions?
Why not?
I mean, if you want to reopen the hearing, you can rescind your vote to close it and reopen it. If you're on the fence of issuing an order.
No, I understand.
I would be fine with what Art said too.
Okay. Ark, make the motion.
I'm not making a motion to reopen the public hearing.
No, you're not. You're making a motion to issue the order of conditions.
Correct.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with giving you the calculations.
We need a second to do this?
Yes.
I'll second
Okay.
Art's motion.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
Art Montminy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
KG Dudley, aye. All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Bye-bye.
All right, so I get the next one too. I apologize. Did we jump through this? Are we at 19 Gilboa Court, or we already did that one?
We're at 19 Gilboa.
We are at 19.
The other one was extension.
Oh, thank you. All right, 19 Gilboa Court. No new information submitted from the last meeting.
Hey, Tracy's back.
Mike, did you want to go?
What time is it?
It's 12:30.
12:30.
It's 7 a.m. Come on.
I'll stick it out a little longer.
40:30. All right, so next I'm on the agenda, public hearing continued 19 Gilboa Court. Eric Martinson.
That's mine. I'm Matthew Collins from Andrew Sarban Engineering, and I'm representing. Did you say that there was nothing submitted since then?
I'm quoting my agenda, which says that.
I did submit plans to Steve.
Yeah, I saw some again tonight. I think did I email you last week asking for, I don't know if it went into my junk mail or.
Yeah, I responded to you
I got
with the revisions.
last week.
Yeah, last week.
I got your email today.
Forward that email,
Did I forward that to everybody?
or just no, Steve, Matthew, could you just forward the email that you sent to Steve?
Yeah.
Well, I got it today, so I got the plan here.
Oh, okay, all right.
I have the revised plan here.
Okay, never mind. can you just screen share that for me?
Yeah, hang on. That was, what was that? 19 Gilboa Court. Is this it here? Let's see this. Does this look like-
Yes, that's the revised one.
Okay, so do you want to just summarize the changes that you've made with our comments from the last meeting?
Yes, so from our continuation from last time, we didn't have a DEP number yet. We have a DEP number now. I don't know if you need that, or it's 143-1006.
Okay.
We also, so the main difference we had, I added all these flow lines so to make it a little easier to read where everything is actually flowing. The driveway is continuing to flow in that same direction that it was before. It's really once you get past the porch. I explained it last time, but now we can actually see it. Everything will flow to that southwest direction from the proposed addition. You can see it flows to that HDPE, the pipe down at the bottom of that riprap. The bottom left corner of the plans, you can see the swale where everything will head towards that pipe. Also, when you look, it makes it easier to tell. I know there were issues or just you wanted me to bring to the attention of Rich, the PE, about making sure that from the proposed addition that no runoff will be going towards that addition. With those proposed contours, you see that 214 and 216, the 214 on the deck, yep, right there. All of that runoff will be going down towards there. The top of the wall there is at 214 of that retaining wall. And at the bottom, you can see the 212 where we have the proposed line right back where that benchmark is. That goes at 212. So everything will be moving down the backyard. And then when you see the existing contours moving west or southwest-ish, and they all flow towards that swale in the bottom left, and everything will go down towards that pipe and into the wetland. We also added that stockpile area that is outside the 100-foot buffer. It's right there. And we moved the erosion control backwards just so it would cover past that proposed stockpile area. Also, part of your checklist, you wanted to make sure there was no equipment or machinery that was stored within that 50-foot wetland buffer. So I added that leader just to make sure that the contractor will not do that. Let's see, what else? You also, I had the net impervious previously, but you wanted an actual breakdown to show what the existing impervious area is within the 100-foot buffer area and what the proposed. If you look at the top right of our plan, I actually highlighted the existing conditions and the proposed conditions with a net of 415 square feet. In that net impervious, I know we discussed possibly using a CN number for the patio area because there may be some pervious, like the cracks in between. After talking with the client, we wanted to make sure we were conservative with our net impervious area. So we called that at 100% impervious for now. Just to be conservative with that. And that's basically, now that we're at the 415, the area of that patio within the 100-foot buffer is That's 429 square feet. So with the nets, everything else within there, there really isn't any net impervious due to that basketball court, the walkways. We're taking that driveway area out where the proposed addition is in the porch. So really that only net impervious is just that paver area. And that's also a conservative number for that. That 400 net impervious, just due to, we're not exactly sure what he wants to use, and we don't, so we figured we'd just be safe with that. Other than that, from Tracy, from your checklist that you gave me last time, I think that included everything.
He was gonna do a video on this one, wasn't he?
Really? Did I do a video?
We talked about it the last meeting.
Was I going to do a video?
No, maybe I was.
Steve was.
Let's see.
He can go really fast with the pictures.
No, I don't have a video on this.
Only one person got that.
No, that'll do.
No, I have that in my notes, sorry. I got the photos.
So board, let's go. Could you pull up the plan one more time, Steve? Sorry. After you're done with the pictures, if you want. I can see the pictures on my file.
Mhm.
So the proposed erosion controls during construction. That's pavement right there, right? On the, between the wetland and the swale. Like the riprap area.
Yeah, so any of that light, that existing driveway, that's all existing pavement.
Okay, so how,
Oh, back there, that will not be there, but we have the erosion control going all the way, even past where any impervious area will be.
so how do you plan to install the erosion control in the driveway? And what are you proposing? Because I can't see the whole plan. Material.
If you look down below, you can see the leader. I think it's on the bottom. The erosion control we're using, if you look at the detail, I believe it's a straw wattle that we're going to use. I can't read it. Yeah, straw wattle.
Okay, so you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, so I think I extended it too far.
So
If-
either we do like a compost sock blown in maybe, that can lay on the concrete or on the pavement. We just want to ensure that no erosion's gonna head that direction during construction.
Yeah, we can make sure we add that.
It says you said straw wattle or filter sock. I mean, the filter sock's probably gonna be a bit heavier. I don't know, Steve, what your opinion is, but if we can't really,
Filter sock would be more stable.
yeah,
Harder to move.
yeah. So just concerned just during construction on the erosion occurring across the driveway.
Yeah, we could change it to that for the driveway.
And then I don't think you're staking in a stake through that compost sock either.
Yeah, I probably should have realized that with the driveway. Sorry about that.
That's all right. So that's probably the most sensitive spot of the whole project. So we just want to make sure that there's a suitable erosion control. Steve's going to be called out before any ground work is done, any excavation is happening. Board, any other questions?
Should there be any erosion control on the right side of the driveway as you first come in off the road where the driveway spills out and goes towards the wetland? I see arrows going that way. Yes, correct, right down in that area.
Isn't there a catch basin there?
Yeah, if you see the it won't go all the way towards the only that arrow there. That's the only real area that will be going
Yes.
into the street. Anything from our side of the street will be going into the wetland to the left or the west. It's not going to make it to the street.
No, we're talking about the west one.
Right, so on the left side as we're looking at it, it just seems to me like there should be some additional erosion control right where the arrow is now.
We could add that if
Well, the erosion control is this it right? It ends right here.
It only ends there, right? And the water's all going down the driveway, and then it comes off the driveway and goes towards the wetlands, so.
We could bring it around and maybe close the entrance at night. Because where do you stop really? I mean, you're not supposed to have any erosion off of a site into the street anyway. So maybe if we propose to cut off that driveway exit at nighttime,
we could do that. I don't think anything from like past where that riprap is, where he has that second arrow pointing left.
Yeah.
It is going to it's not going to the street, but it is going towards the wetland. So we could put an erosion, maybe right there, so it won't go towards
closing off
the wetland.
Chance, because you do have your arrows of flow. We don't know where it's flowing. You're showing us where that's flowing.
Yep. So I could extend that erosion barrier where his green lines. I could extend it.
Yeah.
You can just put another one off, inside this driveway too.
Right, that's where I really want to see some.
Is that your property?
That is not our property.
Okay, well, we're right at the arc there where it is on your property. Right there.
Oh, are you talking about the green or the red?
Green. So just inside the red.
Well, here's the driveway. I mean, is it a shared driveway?
It is a shared driveway.
I mean, would the neighbor allow you to put the erosion control here?
The neighbor, I believe, might even be his brother. So as long as there's no family feuds, I think.
Well, can't be sure of that.
Yeah, you never know, but I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't want to get in the way of I would hate to flip off of this plan, but I don't want to get in the way of the neighbor's driveway. Like
Right.
you see
It's
the
not.
driveway easement.
Yeah, with that green line to the left, that would not be, I think maybe that far, like the right side of that arc might be, but for the majority, that wasn't, that driveway goes into our lot.
I think we're going a little bit out of scope, to tell you the truth. I see, so the riprap, I think you still are gonna have a little trouble staking that in. But if you go across and stake it, to the lawn area of the front yard,
I mean, you can't put it right here.
I can't Oh, wait, hold on a second. I'm looking at the pictures. Where, can you bring it up again?
Is mine on the screen?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I just have thumbnails.
So thumbnails? All right, hang on. Hang on 1 second. All right,
They're also in our folder too, but
I got it now. Hang on. There we go. You see that?
Yes. So that lawn area is right where I think we should have something.
Right here. I agree. Because it's gonna be hard to control this. They're not gonna move those every day. I mean, this is permanent.
where did you?
Plus, if it hops over this, you have a little bit of lawn area between here and the wetland.
Where did you say you should start it?
Right along the edge of the driveway.
A second row?
Yes.
Okay. And then what's the length on that? Matt, can you tell us approximately?
Yeah.
So where would you propose to stake it on the project site?
I would say along the along the wetland side of the driveway.
Okay, but not across the driveway?
I mean, they're gonna be running it over.
Well, construction entrances always have erosion controls at the front of it, and they close them up at the end of the day.
I mean, I would have it up here too. You know, they have it ended here.
Yeah,
And then along his, but his neighbor, I would have it along here. And then in another row around here, because he's got everything pitched this way.
yeah. Well, we saw the flow arrows.
I think that area would be roughly 50 feet.
Okay. Starting at that tree that looks dead, half dead, the maple, maybe?
Yeah, so it might even be less than that.
I think
Okay,
you need to go beyond that tree.
okay, like,
Looking at the slope on the driveway, I would go beyond it.
okay, like how far? Yeah, keep going.
Oh, is that the tree?
That's the tree. Who needs a video?
You went really fast. So,
Another 50 feet. Make it one roll of fence.
okay, 100 feet. Okay,
In it,
and then,
There's a tree there.
okay, so, yeah, so around that corner, Matt?
Okay. So it'd be roughly 50 feet on either side of it.
Yes. And then as far as the erosion control, so we're definitely doing, the silt sock or a filter sock. So down along the riprap area.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure how that would work out at the driveway. So board, do we want to see it just end at the end of the riprap? Because we've got the other backup, or?
Well, I would think. Let's see if I can.
You're not really going to be able to move that sock because they blow it in as one piece. So either you can do,
Well, it'd be good to somewhere up here before it got any velocity. So it's pretty flat here, right where the construction. I mean, they're going to be driving up here, probably utilizing the existing garage. Let's see if I
Yeah.
can push this out a little bit.
so pull it up.
If you showed the plan, we could do it maybe higher up here. If you see where the proposed porch is, yeah, it would be right there. If we did it across.
Somewhere up here, so it's pretty flat. So water, you know, it's going to go over it, but there's not going to be a lot of velocity.
Okay.
Anything on the outside of this is just going to be probably hopefully clean. I don't know what Mark thinks, but
Yeah, so I could do it right outside our proposed porch and just go all the way across the driveway.
and then pitch it to the riprap. And that would slow it down and trap any sediment too,
Yes.
Yeah, we could do that.
up here. And then pitch everything
wrapping
here. And if anything that comes off of here, hopefully it gets filtered, and then it's gonna hit that erosion control on this side also.
Yes.
That sounds like a plan.
So we're bringing the erosion control to the house, the existing back right corner of the house.
So we can
Yep,
clear.
across the basketball court or driveway or whatever that is. Oh, no, it's not the basketball court. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
proposed porch.
It's, okay, so where the existing home is, and then there's the porch. Okay, thanks, Steve. And then you'll get Steve a revised plan before you do anything, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and then we can note, gonna do, I know it says a minimum 8-inch compost sock, but do you want to do like a 12-inch instead?
Yeah, I can change that.
Okay. Steve,
I can't. It's hard with the mouse.
yeah, you're going too fast. What are you doing? Are you gonna try again?
You still,
But- For the front one.
I'm trying to erase it.
Oh, okay, from the house, wrapping around, just so that the board can see what we're working with here. Okay, well, the only other agenda thing, our upcoming meeting is the 25th. Be there, be square. We don't have to take care of that at the end.
Oh, here we go.
Are you drawing anything?
Let's see. So it's gonna be erosion control along this side here,
Yep.
and then it's gonna come follow this where he has it.
Mhm.
And I think it's gonna cut off like this.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit closer to the back left corner of the existing garage under.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, just so they can actually have access to the garage.
Right-
Yeah.
Right here, right.
I think that's perfect. That looks like so perfect.
That, anything's gonna come this way, hopefully,
Yep. You want to direct it to that riprap off of the driveway.
right here. And if it, once it flows off here, then it'll hit this secondary erosion control also.
Okay. Board, anything else? Art?
No.
Mike?
Nope.
Mark?
No.
Nothing.
Eric?
No.
I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Oh, wait. No one in the public. Anybody in the public? No, I don't see any. Douglas Cable. Oh, you are. Yeah. All right, I'll entertain a motion to close.
So moved.
Motion's made.
Seconded.
Seconded by Katie Grace. Roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to issue with the conditions that we spoke about. Subject to a plan submitted to Steve before any erosion controls are installed also.
So moved.
Uh-huh.
Motion made,
Second,
second by Mike, roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
Okay, very good. So Matt, you are very clear on what you need to get Steve.
Yep, just took a picture of his beautiful drawing, so
Okay,
I'll make
good.
sure I
Good one.
I'll send you a bill.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
Steve, anything else?
Well, do we just, for tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Got all that Joseph Road stuff?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Well, we have to continue just to,
Well, maybe not even continue. They never advertise, so it's technically they didn't open. But
right.
my question to you is because I'd like to have, and I've had some comments, and Mark actually had some comments with them, and they didn't get back to any of. They haven't revised any plans. It was kind of what they submitted, needed to be a little bit more detailed. So supposedly they're going to get that next week. But our next agenda on the 25th is kind of filling in. We have a couple of things on there, and I'd like to have all 6 of these on at once on one meeting.
Yep.
So I'm proposing we tell them February 8th because it's kind of wide open, and you can have this as one big block.
If they don't have revised plans that are good enough, then
Well, the meeting's kind of, we're kind of getting full for the next meeting. So the 6 of them, I mean, we could take them all on February 8th and at least we'll have enough room on the agenda to hear them all.
okay, as long as they didn't already advertise.
No, they're asking for the new advertisement and time and date.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's not, I mean, it's 2 weeks from the next one, so I don't have any problem with that. I would just stress to them that they need to get us the plans, the issues from the plans need to be addressed by like the next meeting, and then you can give us an update.
And this is, if anyone knows, does everyone know where the site is? In case you want to go out there, you can drive out there. It's on your way to I can't hear you, Katie.
Yes, I would like to know where it is.
All right, you know Bosma's flea market?
Yes,
It's across the street.
fantastic.
Okay.
On your way out of, on your way to Oxford CVS, before you get up to it's on the right before the new subdivision.
So we also need the updated plans in our Google Drive so that we know kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues, and it's a big, when you go into the subdivision, because they're right across from the Bosman's flea market, the road was previously paved, so you can drive in there, and it's all the lots right after the detention pond. When you come in, when you drive into the subdivision, there's a detention pond to the right, and there's a big gravel mound to the right. I think they're going to take that entire gravel mound down. So the plan.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Is this for single family homes?
6 of them right in a row. So that all that big hill comes down. So there's a lot of detail to the plans that we asked for that they have to show us.
Okay.
Yeah, so if the board wants to take a look.
And where's the jurisdictional resource area?
It's on the backside of that hill. There's that Cold Spring Brook that was, remember we had the meeting on 93 Davis?
I do remember that. I can't forget.
How could you forget?
I can't. It's just solidified into my memory.
Listen, and we had a water line project where they came through and right across from the high school, the guy built a garage.
Yep.
This is behind that garage. This is a stream that goes behind that garage.
Okay, fantastic. That poor stream.
Well, I'll be on. I'll put them on for February, unless you want to break it up. I mean,
No, I think,
I think it's important to show these all at once.
yeah, I think it's better that way. And there is a video, whoever was asking for videos, right? There is a video.
It should be a recent one. Yeah, on the drive.
Okay. And then you'll also send out, okay, so Steve, you're all set with that one?
Yeah.
So there's really no action because we didn't open it and it's not advertised.
Correctly. They didn't advertise correctly, right?
And then the only other thing we had upcoming on our agenda is our wetland bylaw, the local bylaw review. So for our fee schedules.
We're gonna update the fee schedule, which hasn't been done in 15 years. And I'll try to
If
get,
anybody wants to take a look, you can pass it around, Steve, if you want.
yeah, I'll try to get some, I'll try to send around the proposal and see what people think coming for the next meeting. Let's not for the next meeting.
After the next meeting?
It's on it for the 25th.
Okay, yeah.
Was
James?
there anything new on that, that big proposed warehouse project with the 30 acres and Sutton and 30 acres and Uxbridge and 7 or 8 acres in Douglas?
Yes, so there was actually a joint meeting between the 3 towns conservation agents and the planner, just about coordinating resources on hiring the same consultant for all 3 towns.
That makes sense.
So everyone is going to be on the same page when it comes to the wetland consultant and the engineer that's doing it for planning board, and he'll be doing it for the 3 individual conservation commissions. And I recommended, I think planning board might be having joint meetings, but I think the commission members, they might have all separate meetings. But what I recommend is that I'll send out the link to our meeting to all the other towns in case they just want to sit in when that NOI comes before our town. But the applicant will be reviewing it and will be the consultant for all 3 conservation commissions. And so there'll be a coordinated effort so that everyone is on the same page, and all comments. And I recommended that when the consultant writes up the comments for Uxbridge and Sutton and Douglas, that we'll see Sutton and Uxbridge's comments within ours. They'll just have all 3 towns layered in 3 different pages, so we can see what the other towns are reviewing and asking for also. Of the 3 towns, it looks like Douglas has the least amount of work within the resource area. But that should be filed relatively soon. So it should be within the next week or so.
There's going to be a lot more traffic at that 146 interchange, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds like the BJ's project that's down by the Rhode Island border.
146A.
Yeah, 146A. And the place is huge. I don't know how many trucks a day go in and out of there, but that's become a busy spot now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, Steve, anything else?
No, I kind of like having a discussion first. We've never done that before. I'm not sure if the commission wants to keep it that way.
Yes. That's good. We like it.
Defer to the pleasure of the chair.
I like it.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, and just let me know if I appreciate the not criticism, but just with the Google Drive, if you want more stuff on it, I try to take stuff that's not relevant off of it, just for the stuff before the meetings. If you want more other information on there, just let me know. I could try to update it.
Yeah, I like when the requests are on there, the actual
Certificate.
application.
Oh, okay. I'll scan those though. Some come when they come in. Like I try to ask everything electronically, but do you want the notice of intents on there too? I mean, I can put everything.
When it gets a little confusing, like what did you ask for? Usually it's the RDA, and
Right.
then one of the certificates tonight. Like if you saw that it said nothing, no work has commenced. Then
Oh, right. The application, right.
That's
Okay.
super helpful.
with the trees next to the bushes type of thing.
I'm stuck between paper and electronic sometimes, so I'll just make an effort to whatever we get, just make an electronic copy, scan it, and put it in the folder.
Yeah,
Everyone can see.
not too much work. At least the application,
Right.
Love taking pictures though.
The pictures are nice because I'll go through them. I like it, but you do put a ton of them up there, which is you probably don't need all of them. But I mean, if it's easier for you to just dump them all there rather than go through them, that's okay too. I mean, whatever's easier. And I almost always pull the plans off there because I will pull them up in my second monitor, and that way I can zoom into a different area than what we might have zoomed into on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you have the plan up on Zoom, which is super helpful to everyone else, I'll put it up on my other monitor so that I don't have to ask you, oh, look over there and zoom in on that. Look over there and zoom in on that. Right.
And having the folders within each site. So if I had 184 West Street, I can put plan, NOI, comments, photos. That helps. All right. And then I'll make a folder that says when I have the plan, I'll put in old or new. Or I'll just put the newest plan in there and I'll just put old. So I don't like deleting, but I'll just put all the old stuff in the old folder.
I think
however you want to do it is fine. But like what you're doing now is working great, and anything else you want to put there is also great.
All right, good.
Mike's leaving, just like no.
Bye, Mike.
Just getting prepared. I'm hoping I'm put some pressure on.
Release. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas, you can send them to Steve too. You can email him during the weekend. A couple of weeks. So.
Will Steve ever shut up? Is that that's what he's saying?
No, thank you, Mike, for staying.
You're welcome.
It.
Are you getting ready to adjourn or?
No, we're just gonna stay here all night.
That's what I was afraid of.
I don't know about you. I'm getting ready.
Okay, is anybody? I can entertain a motion.
I move to adjourn.
All right. I'll second that.
Mike second. Roll call vote.
Art Monmouth, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mark Munjamai.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Steve.